reporter who he has a very good rapport with on most days.
So I want to walk a fine line.
This is not racism.
I spent years sitting in that briefing room.
Tell other people what racism is.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Because you don't experience
it. You don't know what's in Sean's heart.
This has nothing to do. You don't need to raise your voice because that's the kind of racism I'm talking about. You just raise your voice at someone who's simply disagreeing with you. You have interrupted me throughout this entire exchange, and rather than speaking respectfully and considerately, you raise your voice at me because you're uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable. You are comfortable at being spoken to by someone who doesn't agree with you and recognize that you don't know what you're talking about.
That was CPAC Chair Matt Schlapp, a regular guest on Justice, trying to defend White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer on MSNBC as he was shouted down by Dr. Jason Johnson in an appearance on that station. So what's going on with all this left-wing anger? Matt's here to talk about it. All right, Matt, you know, I have been noticing lately that whenever the left is trying to make a point or thinks they're caught, they keep talking over someone on the right. And this person saying to you, I mean, I can't believe it, saying you don't get to tell, you know, you don't know what racism is. You don't get to tell what other people what racism. What was that about?
Yeah, it's okay for someone on the left like this person to say that Sean Spicer is exhibiting racism, or that Steve Bannon is exhibiting racism, or that Donald Trump is a racist. That's fine for them to say. And then when I try to defend those people who I know and who are my friends and who I know are not racist, and I know their hearts, I'm told I'm not allowed to speak because I'm a white guy. It just gets so absurd. How are we going to have real discussions in this country if you can't talk because you come from a certain gender or race or class? It's absurd.
Right. And what it appears to me to be is that you have no right to speak because you're right, you're white, and you can't possibly know what this man knows, and therefore you don't have the right to have a free speech. And I'm seeing this more and more, even when we talk about Milo at Berkeley. If you're on the right, irrespective of the race issue, you don't have the right to speak. And we, the left liberals who have this, you know, understanding of everyone and want to include everyone, want to shut down anyone who is on the right. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And what Milo experienced at Berkeley and what all these conservatives who go to college campuses, basically riots sometimes occur because people on campus seem to be so upset about the idea that someone would want to talk about free markets and the Constitution and your right to live your life as an individual. These are really radical ideas, Judge. And I think one thing that's happened in the last year is, you know, we've all talked about what we all experienced being Trump supporters over the course of this election. And I think one thing happened with me is I'm not going to cower anymore on these issues. I used to avoid them because I felt like maybe I didn't have standing. Guess what? I'm not going to let them quiet me because they can't go out there and smear good people with these most horrible of terms and just terrible castigations. I'm not going to take it anymore.
And what they're doing is they're silencing people on the right by ostracizing them, by saying that I'm hypersensitive, I can't possibly hear this, and that person is a racist or a thug or a Nazi or whatever it is, and therefore we must not allow him to speak. I mean, this is contrary to the Constitution, and it is their way of being a bully, and they want to call Donald Trump a bully? Maybe he's got the right idea. Maybe you have to fight back and push back.
Well, I think that's what he's taught us, is that, you know, I don't always think you have to fight hard on everything. But on these really central foundational questions about what's in our heart and what's our intention, conservatives have to do a much more aggressive job of pushing back. Don't let them quiet you. Don't let them chill you. If you're a college kid on campus, don't let that administration shut you down, or that college professor. In this case, it was a college professor trying to shut me down. And guess what? I'm not going to send my kids into those classrooms. I don't think it's doing our country any good.
And just so you know, Matt, I was on a campus, and these kids are afraid to admit that they have right-wing or that they support Trump. Anyway, Matt Schlapp, good.